Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Pinky Hooks. This is my summer bag that I have created. It's the first summer bag that I created. Basically, it's a simple stitch. I use a stitch called a shell and V stitch. And basically, it's just a 2-row repeat. It's very, very simple. If you know how to do double crochets and of course a single crochet and a slip stitch, as far as the body of the bag from here to here, you will be absolutely fine. The border that I've done on this bag, I actually used a stitch called the herringbone half double crochet stitch. I like that better than me going around just doing a whole bunch of singles and building it up, because as we get closer, when I actually put this under the magnifying glass, you will see the beauty of using the herringbone half double crochet stitch. Now, with that being said, don't be fooled. This bag was made in one panel and then I flipped it, sewed it on the sides with a slip stitch, turned the bag on the inside out, and that's why you have this lovely look. Oh, I got a shadow. Sorry, y'all. I have a shadow. But it will get better because the video is actually recorded and you will see this up close and beautiful. Okay, my lighting is a little bit off. I do apologize for that. So what I did was I used this Caron Simply Latte, not latte, the Caron Simply Soft yarn. You know the 1-pounders? That's basically what I had. And I am not a fan of plain yarn, meaning that I have more of variegated yarns. But this stitch is so pretty and I felt like I didn't want to chance it using a variegated yarn. Maybe this would have been interesting to do a self-striping yarn. I hope for my advanced crocheters, intermediate crocheters, they understand the difference between variegated versus striping yarn. So some stitches are not made to be used on variegated yarn because you lose the beauty of the stitch. With that being said, this cream colored yarn, I forgot how beautiful cream can be, or just plain white. It is very simple. It's going to go with every single outfit you pretty much have for the summer, right? Because it's all about being light and airy. With this bag, I also made my own handles. Now, here's the kicker. During this tutorial, we are only learning in this session how to make the bag. There will be a follow-up. It's already recorded. So for those of you who've been on my channel, be like, Pinky, you always say that you're going to do a follow-up. Nope, I actually recorded the handle tutorial, and that is for people who just want to learn how to make their own handles, but it will be the part 2 to completing this bag. Now, this bag actually measures out, because I did not measure, and I said, I'll just do it on camera. Now, y'all know I'm not really good with my measurements, so let's see. We have a little bit under 14, or exactly at 14 inches for the width once we create it or sew it up. And on the side, we have it at, drum roll please, a little bit over 11 and a half. All right. So that's what this bag is. Now, I used a size J for this, but for the band, I use a size I, just because of the type of stitch. You do not have to put the buttons on. I will repeat that again at the end of this video. But if you are ready to make this fabulous bag, let's go. Go get your yarn, go get your hook, and let's get started. It's been a while, hasn't it? Okay, so to begin, remember we're using a size J. This is a 4-ply yarn. We're going to begin with, either your magic ring or a knot on your hook. This stitch takes a multiple of 8. So for the sake of this tutorial, to save time, I'm doing mine on a much smaller scale. I will only be chaining up 24. Once you complete the amount of, or get your width, You want to make sure that you add on an additional 3 for the base chain. Please make sure that you add on the 3, because if you don't, you're going to have a problem and you're going to need to pull it out. So let's begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 24, and I need to add on additional 3, which is 1, 2, and 3. So to begin row 1, we're working on the right side. We're going to skip 2 chains, which is going to count as 1 double crochet, and then we're going to put 2 more double crochets into the next chain. Okay, so what they're saying is skip 2, 1, 2. There's your first double crochet. By skipping those first 2, you're working into the third chain by putting in 2 double crochets into that very same stitch. So we want to yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn back over, pull through 2, yarn back over, pull through 2. That creates a double crochet in the US terms. Yarn back over, go back into that same stitch and do another double crochet. That is going to be considered like a half shell. Okay, so now what we want to do is count 3, skip 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, you are not counting this one. You already worked that one. 1, 2, 3. And now what you're going to do is work in that fourth by creating your first V-stitch. A V-stitch consists of 2 double crochets, but in between those 2 will be 1 chain. So insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Of course, that's your double crochet. Make sure you chain 1 and go back into that same stitch to create another double crochet. By you putting that chain in between the 2, that's what makes a V-stitch. Without that chain, you just have 2 double crochets. Yeah. Skip 3, 1, 2, and 3. And then that fourth chain we will put in our very first shell, which consists of 5 double crochets into the very same stitch. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right. Okay. So this in the beginning represents a half shell, right? Because we only did 3 double crochets. And then we have our first V-stitch, and now we have a first shell, full size shell. And so for the first row, what you're doing is you're just skipping 3 and you're alternating the actual stitches. Okay, so now we need to do a V-stitch again. So we want to say 1, 2, 3, skip 3, and you're going to work your V-stitch, which is 1 double crochet, chain 1, go back in, and another double crochet. That completes your V-stitch. Skip 3, 1, 2, and 3. In that fourth, create your shell, 5 double crochets into the same stitch. Easy peasy, right? That's pretty much going to be the gist of it. There's another shell. Skip 3, 1, 2, 3. Put in a V-stitch, 1 double crochet, chain 1, go back in that same stitch and put in another double crochet. You've just completed your next V-stitch. Now, I am close to the end. Once you start getting close to the end, you should always have 4 left. So I need to skip 3 again. 1, 2, and 3, right? And in that very last chain, we need to mimic what we started off with. So we basically started off with a half shell. We're going to end up putting 3 double crochets into that final stitch. So that's 1, 2, and 3. There you have it. That completes your first row. So half shell, V-stitch, full shell, V-stitch, full shell, V-stitch, and then you have a half shell. Turn your work, and we are officially on row 2. We are going to begin from here on. You will always turn your work and chain up 3. 1, 2, 3. So if a 2 chain counts as a double crochet and we just chained up 3, that will count as a double crochet with a chain 1. So now what you want to do is go back into that very same stitch right here and do another double crochet. So that literally creates your first V-stitch for this row, and you have done that V-stitch. It doesn't look like it because you're at the end, but you've done it on what? A half shell below. I know you're probably like, I can't see it. Keep doing it and you'll see it. All right. So now what you're doing is you're just alternating. Again, you're still alternating. You no longer have to count the 3s because you have just now set up your first foundation row. So now it's just easy peasy. So what you want to do is put in a shell in the V-stitch below, right? So no more counting. So now what you want to do is work in that chain space in the V-stitch and put in 5 double crochets to create your first shell for this row. 5 double crochets in that chain space. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. So now you need to create a V-stitch. And like I say, you really don't have to count because you're always going to do it in the top of the 3rd double crochet in your shell, right? So that's 1, 2, 3 if you feel, like you need to count. But if you're more of a visual person like I am, like after this was set up, I never counted again unless I'm doing like, unless I'm doing like a shell or something. So this is the V-stitch. You put in 1 double crochet, you chained 1, and then you went right back in to the top of that and then created another double crochet. So there you have it. You get the concept? It's like super easy. So again, we have a V-stitch below, right? So now we need to put in a shell in that chain space. That's 5 double crochets. And I love this stitch because, like I said, once you set up that foundation row, it's easy. It is so easy. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so now we do a V-stitch in the 3rd double crochet of the shell below. Chain 1 and do another. Okay, and then here you go. Put in a shell, 5 double crochets, worked in that V-stitch. That's 3, 4, and 5. And now here we are at the end. So remember, for this row, in the 2nd row, we started with a V-stitch. So you want to work a V-stitch, right? Or basically, what you're doing is you're not really going to do a V-stitch. You're really just putting in 2 double crochets at the end for your turning chain. Because in this case, if we did a real V-stitch, right? Basically, what's going to happen is you're going to increase the you're going to increase the rows. That's when you're going to start getting that, you know, like lopsided. You're not going to have an even one. And I know you're like, okay, well, wait, we first started kind of like with a V-stitch. Yeah, you did. But for the way this row needs to end, you really need to just do 2 double crochets. Please keep that in mind. Please keep it in mind. I know I said you're mimicking the front, you know, but for this, you really just need to put in 2 double crochets. And that's going to keep it straight. You're putting in those 2 double crochets at the top of the turning chain. So let's look. So you have 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets. Here's your turning chain. Pull it out. You see that little hole right there? Not this one. Right there, little pinhole. You're working in that. You're not working in between the stitch. Put it in that pinhole. 2 double crochets. Once you get that first one in, it's easy to go back in. Put in the same one. There you go. Okay, this now completes row 2. All right, so you can start to see the pattern form. All right, here we go. Turn again. We are officially on row 3. We do what? We chain up 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so with this one, you are going to put in 2 double crochets into the first V-stitch, because on row 2 right here, we started with a V-stitch. So right here on row 3, on top of that V-stitch, we want to start with a half shell. That's it. Remember, this is a 2-row repeat. So we are going to go back into that same stitch. Okay. And you're going to do 2 double crochets into that same stitch. Oh, wait, hold up. Sorry, I took my eyes off the thing for 1 second. I don't want to work in that hole. Did I go into the stitch? Yeah, I didn't want to go under here. I want to go in that stitch. Here we go. 1 and 2. Okay. There you go. So that's a half shell. So we need to now put a V-stitch in the top of the 3rd double crochet. 1 double crochet, chain 1, another double crochet. Okay. Again, skip. We're at a V-stitch. We're going to put in a full shell of 5 double crochets inside that V-stitch. Okay, 1, 2, 3. So we're putting oh, that's where I left off. Look, I left off. I'm sorry, I had to pause the camera. My fault. Sorry, I don't want to confuse y'all guys. So 1, 2, 3. Sorry. 4, 5. I had to pause the camera to untangle the yarn, and then when I unpaused it, I started over here. Like, sorry, my brain was not working that quickly. And then we go in here to the shell. I hope y'all didn't get lost. Create a V-stitch. Okay. Again, create a shell. 5 double crochets makes our shell. That's 4, and we need 5. Okay, V-stitch, so that's 1, 2, 3. Top of the 3rd double crochet in the shell below, you're creating a V-stitch by doing 1 double crochet, chaining 1, go back in, do another double crochet. There's our V-stitch. And now here we are at the end. So if we just did a V-stitch, you want to create a half shell, which will consist of 3 double crochets into the top of the turning chain. Okay. And so if you ever get confused and be like, how do I know I'm at the top of the turning chain? The turning chain always consists of 3. So you will want to count up 1, 2, and 3. You're at the top. And now here you go. We're going to put in a half shell, which is 3 double crochets. So that's 1, 2, and 3. There you have it. We just completed row 3, and now if we stretch our work, you can clearly see the V-stitch and the shells just alternating. So at this point, all you're doing now is when you turn, you only repeat rows 2 and 3, which that's how we get our 2-row repeat. And so if you're like, okay, well, you don't even need to rewind back really, because we've already set the foundation. Remember, you are just doing opposite. So once you turn and you do your 3, 1, 2, 3, remember you're always doing 3 chain up when you first turn, no matter what. All you have to do, excuse me, is look below, right? And say, oh, what was this below, right? This is your half shell. So you already know what to do. You just chained up 3. You're going to go back in this same stitch. You see the pinhole, and do 1 double crochet, which just now created your first V-stitch. It may not look like it, but it is, right? And so now you know there's the V-stitch. I need to do a shell. Like, that's all it is. And this is the kind of project that I like, and I'm gonna tell you why. You know how when you're doing other projects, you put it down? And I mean, not put it down to go to the bathroom. You put it down for like, oh, a week, a month. You come back and you have no idea. Like, you got to go back and research 1, 2, 3, 4. You got to go back and research the book or go back to somebody's video and say, oh, I don't even know what stitch I was doing. This is easy. This is easy. Like, there's no chains in between other than when you do your V-stitch. Like, you literally could look at this and say, oh yeah, I know where I'm at. You don't even need to say I'm on row 2 or row 3. It's easy. You just do the opposite of whatever the previous row, and then you're just alternating the stitches. Yeah? 1, 2, 3. I'm going to tell you where you're going to mess up, or where you can mess up, right? If you start getting too happy and start going too fast, it's like, if you decide you want to be courageous and be like, I can multitask, right? And you start looking at TV, this is what happened. Sometimes, like, I might have created a V-stitch here and then go right here and create another V-stitch, not paying attention, because it's so easy. Sometimes stitches or patterns that are so easy, it's almost like it's easy to mess up. Does that make sense? Sure it does. Okay. Yeah. So do another shell. Because you saw what happened when I had paused the video. I was just like, do. And then I started messing up. I was like, oh my God, let me get it together. 1, 2, 3, 4. It is not even 8 o'clock in the morning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There, yeah, my shell. Yeah. I'm taking y'all to the end of this, and then I'm going to show y'all what to do. We're doing a V-stitch. I'm just hanging in here on this row until I'm done this. So y'all don't think that I just abandoned y'all. 1, 2, 3. Okay. 4 and 5. And now here we are again at the end. So we just created a shell. So we're just putting in 2 double crochets. Remember, when you get to the end, don't be like, oh, I need to put in a V-stitch at the turning chain. When you always get to the end, right? Depending on the row. So, we need to, if you think about it, okay, you're just like, okay, well, what do I do at the end? You're going to go ahead and do 2 double crochets. If you're on row 2, you will do 3 double crochets if you're on row 3 at the end. Okay, do not create a V-stitch at the end. Just do 2 double crochets. I promise you, because if you do that, a V-stitch, you are going to have lopsided work. And you're going to be like, why is my work going so far to the left? Or my rows aren't straight. Yeah. Okay. Oof. This yarn is tangled. Okay. There we go. So, now, what I'm going to do is I am going to just do maybe 2 or 3 more rows. I will meet you back here because then I'm just going to show you. Remember, I'm doing a really tiny, smaller scale, and I'm going to show you how to stitch it up on the sides, okay? Okay, so I did just about, I think I did another 2 additional rows. So I'm going to stop here. So once you get your desired, you know, like size of the bag, basically what you want to do is we're just folding this over. So as you can see, you see how we're looking at the shell and the V-stitches like horizontally, right? How I got the design in my bag is I just simply, instead of folding it this way where everything stayed on like, you know, a row, I wanted to give it like a different look. You see how now it looks different versus if I had to just folded it up like that way, like the way we worked it. No. Or let me show you on a bigger scale, because I know y'all probably like, I don't see the difference. And my yarn just fell behind the table, y'all. Godly. So you see how we got that lattice look? You know, it's kind of like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's going this way versus if I turn the bag to the side, right? Even though it's upside down, let me flip it over. There you go. It's this way. So that was the, you know, I mean, if you want to do, you know, this way, but remember, because we worked this, we kind of worked out the width. If you want to do it this way, that means you have to keep going like way further up. So I want mine this way. And basically this is going to end up looking like a little, what do you call that? Change purse. Remember your granny had the little change purse that she'd get in her little pennies, be like, hold on, how much you say that was? That was $1.05. I think I got 5 pennies. That's what this is going to look like. I'm sorry. So anyway, once you get to the end, right? Oh, it doesn't matter what row you want to stop on. What you want to do is leave the, you know, leave your hook in there, right? And I'm going to fold this together. Oh, let me do it like this. Hold on. Yeah. And I'm just going to slip stitch into the opposite side, right in the stitch. Pull that through. Now, here's the thing. You guys can either follow my method, because, you know, I felt like I don't want to cut it and then start using a needle. I'm just going to do mine. Now I need to turn it. I'm just going to do mine like, you know, with a simple slip stitch. And then I'm going to turn it inside out. So I'm going to chain up 1, right? And now I'm going to go into the next stitch of the first half and then join it together with the opposite half, right? Simply with the slip stitch. Now, one of the things I want you to notice is that on this side, you know, you got the shells and the V-stitches. And so this is where you need to do your best to line it up. When I first did the full bag, I literally put some like markers in between the V-stitch and the shell to kind of line it up. Don't worry what it looks like because we're going to turn this inside out. All right. So, you know, again, like if you need to pull it apart, here's a stitch. There's a stitch. And I'm just slip stitching. You can do a whip stitch if you want. If you prefer to do it with the needle, you know, be my guest. Absolutely. And I chose to keep going inside the stitch and not in the chain spaces or whatever. Yeah. Okay. I'm just slip stitching. And when you're slip stitching, folks, remember the slip stitch itself, sorry about the blur. The slip stitch automatically is known as a tight stitch. It really is. Hold on, let me see if I can adjust my camera. Oh, okay, there we go. I think that's better. It kept readjusting. So that's all I'm doing. I'm working in the stitches. I'm trying to, get it as lined up as much as possible. If you need to work it slow, work it slow. There we go. And then when you get to the end, right, you know, it seems like, oh, I can stop, but go to the very end as much as you can get in. Don't put too many stitches in there. So there it is. It's seamed up. So that turned out to be pretty nice, right? And remember, I'm going to turn this inside out. And so now I'm going to chain up one and then cut my yarn. And I don't have scissors. Okay, so that's that side. Again, you're going to do the second side. Now, the second side for me, right, was actually the side with the base chain. So it's almost even harder to work than that other one. And I am just going to slip it over like this. I'm gonna stick my hook in here. That's the beginning of the base chain, right? And to keep this lined up, I'm going to go into this one, the very edge. And now what I'm going to do, pull my yarn through. And I'm just going to tie a knot just to secure it. Okay, I'm going to put my hook right back in where I just tied that knot. Pull through my yarn and chain up one. All right, here we go. Now see, yeah, I got a lot more holes on this. This one is going to get tricky because on this side, I probably will, I'm going to try my best to go into the stitch, but if not, again, I don't think, is really going to make too much of a difference because we're turning it inside out. I'm just trying to work my best. This is why some people will say, well, I'd rather just go ahead and do what is that called? What's that stitch called, y'all? When y'all do it with the needle? Whip stitch. Yeah, you can tell I'm going in. And this side is going to be a little bit thicker, but it will disappear once I turn it inside out. So I'm just trying to be as neat as I possibly can. And very loose with my slip stitch. Okay. See what I'm saying? That one gets tricky. Well, you know what? If you got it like this, go here, not here, but here at that very end, just to kind of give it a little bit more stability. There we go. We're going to clip the yarn. Okay. Yes, you have all these strings, but remember, you're going to turn it inside out. Now, what you can do is sometimes what I will do, even though I've already put this together, right? Just because I know I'm going to turn it inside out, you can take a piece of cloth, right? Or whatever, if you're going to line it, I will hope that you're going to line this bag, and you can do the lining while you have it inside out. That's one theory. Or you can get your lining together and then, just go ahead and sew from the inside. Either way. All right. But nevertheless, now I'm turning the inside out. So, and now your ends, oops. That's what it looks like. I stick my finger at the bottom of the corner so you can see the perfect, because I did a mini size of the yellow one. Let me show y'all the yellow one that I did, the mini size of it. Hold on. I think the yellow one turned out, this was the first tutorial that I did, and then the file got corrupt. I don't know what happened, but this is what the mini purse look like. So now we need to do is the top of the bag, right? So let's go back to the one that I was doing. So now for the top, what we're going to do is about 3 to 4 rows, basically of the brick pattern. Is it called the bit? The brick? No, the herringbone. Sorry, the herringbone stitch. So again, for the herringbone stitch, I went down a size and hook, and for the top of the bag, basically what I did was, I don't know why I cut the yarn, y'all. I should have left it. I think it's because I turned it inside out. I'm just going to tie these two again. Remember, this is just my rough draft. Okay. So right here, anywhere at the end, the corner, it doesn't matter. Pull up a yarn, chain 1. Okay. And I'm going to work over that knot. And basically what you're going to do, the first top of the row, you're just going to do a single crochet. Do the best that you can, working in between, you know, those holes from the shells, and just do the best that you can. Try not to decrease or increase. Work along the stitches as much as you know, the best that you can. This is the first row of the edging. You're just doing a single crochet all around. Okay. You will be going into these stitches. There's no way of getting around it. It's just the nature of the beast. Mm-hmm. Okay, we're almost there. Thank God. I think I might have put too many. Okay, no, I'm good. All right. I'm trying to avoid going in, but it's kind of hard. When you get to back to the beginning, just go ahead, do a slip stitch, right? And that is the single crochet of the beginning. I know this is a little wonky right here, but it's going to even out. So now what we want to do, once you do your slip stitch, you've connected your first round of single crochets, chain up 1. Okay, we're going to do the next 3 rows of what is known as the herringbone half double crochet stitch, right? So what you want to do is yarn over. You're going to insert into that next stitch. You're going to pull up a loop, but then you're going to pull it through only the first loop, and then yarn back over and pull through the next 2. This stitch that we're finishing off with is how we're going to make the handles in the next tutorial. So again, go into the next stitch. You yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop and pull it only through that first loop, and then chain over and pull through the next two. Again, yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, pull it through the first one only, and then yarn back over and pull through two. Yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop and pull it through the first loop only. Yarn back over and pull through two. One more time, yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop and pull it through that first one only. Yarn back over and pull through two. I want you guys to repeat that. Go all the way around your bag 3 more times. So this will be the first one, and then you're going to need to do it 3 more times to complete the edging. One more thing I forgot to add, as you're when you complete that first row of the herringbone half double crochet, I forgot to say, because I said work 3 more rows, you are just working continuously, okay, around. So you don't need to, like, you know, like I just got to mine, right? I'm just going to go ahead and keep working. Like, I'm not going to slip stitch and then chain up one. You can do that, because I think I did it with the first bag, or you can do it in rounds. So it's up to you. Okay, so this is as far as I'm going to go, because this is just a small one. All right. And that was the other thing. I said to do, you know, 3 to 4 rounds. Again, it really does depend on how thick you want, you know, your base to be. It's up to you. It's up to you. You have the freedom to do what you want. I just wanted to show you how to make the basics, or show you the basic of the bag. So here we have like a little, if we zoom out, oh, that was the wrong thing to do. I guess I should take it off the magnifying glass. Here we go. So yeah. Oh, look, that one's a little bit bigger. Yeah, these are my minis. That's the bag. And so basically in the next tutorial that's following right behind it, I will show you how to make these handles. If you want to use regular handles that's already pre-made, be my guest. The only reason why I ended up, because I prefer to use pre-made handles. I always hated making handles. I thought that it looked, my work wasn't good enough. I thought it made the bag look cheesy. I thought it took away from the bag, but I don't think so, because of this technique that I actually came up with. Here we go. Hold on. Okay, so if you would like to see how I've made those handles, please join me in the next tutorial that will follow behind this one. If not, and you're just like, hey, I'm good, I'm stopping here, I'm going to line my bag or not line it, and I'm going to sew my own little handles that's already pre-made and do all your little accessories. You know what I'm saying? So if that's what you want to do, then be my guest. And it's up to you. If you want to put the buttons on, absolutely, you know, enjoy yourself. Matter of fact, if you want to put a whole bunch of little buttons or little ornaments all around the base, again, mine's is lined. That's it. It's pretty much done. I completed this bag within, I was shocked. I actually did it in a day, and I never really do projects, even my dish towels. I normally don't finish that in a day. I just enjoyed it so much because the stitch works up so quick, you know, it was amazing. And I was just like, you know what? And I've never made anything that's plain, meaning plain color, because everybody knows I love variegated and I love colors. I am going to try this out in a variegated, you know, yarn, just to see if I can get like a different effect and make it look like a whole entire different bag. But I do like this bag just because of the fact that it's very summery. Like, you know, this is the typical bag that you would see somebody for the summer. So there you have it. Join me in the next tutorial where I show you how to make these handles I think you're going to enjoy it. And keep in mind, those handles are going to be made with that very last stitch that we just did to round off our bag or to top off the bag. So I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you next time around. God bless.